Right. Could you tell us the recent story of someone whose life was changed by African Youth Initiative in some way?
Oh, yeah. You know, we are coming from the north of Uganda, a place that has been through decades of war. We have been through several outbreaks of Ebola, and now we have Corona, among many other disasters that we have been through. But also, the people we support are very poor and needy people. The people who have been through too much. You wouldn't imagine how can somebody see too much and still have so much hope. These are the kind of people that I work with. And what humbles me is the humility of the people who have suffered and the resilience of people who should have no or zero hope, but they're still so resilient and so strong. And I feel so reactivated every time we help these people. We have treated people, so many people, so many children who we knew they were already abandoned by their families to die. We picked them up, we took them to the hospital, we treated them, spent so much money, spent so much time, and a lot of love were given to that kind of person. And today, a lot of them have become leaders. There's people who we have treated, they have become leaders, political leaders in our society. But also we have got a number of women who are so much indignified. They were tortured, they were beaten, they were raped, they were sexually abused. All forms of humiliation were done to them. But because we put our hands to support them, today they are back living a functional life in the society. They are active members of the society. They have kids who have resumed schooling because they feel now they have got dignity. And we have also mediated in the conflict. We have helped taken away so many young people from the battlefield. And they left rebellion, they came back home, and now they are part of the major development actors in our society. So we have plenty of them, over 25,000 who have benefited from our work, and hundreds of thousands who have benefited from conflict prevention programs and youth leadership development programs. So the impact of our projects is not only humanitarian, it's not only human, it's political, it's environmental, it's social, it's cultural. This is what we are looking at. And that gives us a better picture of, we feel we are the best workers in security because we're providing income security, job security, health security, education security, social, political, and cultural security. So looking at that security, we don't look at security with the lens of military guns or weapons. We look at security with a human lens. And that's why we look at income, health, jobs, education, shelter, and all these other basics of life. So that's the kind of persons we support.
Okay, all right. How to make these voices of Africa heard in continents like Europe or America, local voices, I mean?
The best way to make the voices heard is, first of all, to speak truth about the reality, but also speak truth with dignity, with respect, whether they're journalists, whether researchers, whether the politicians, they should tell truth about the reality of Africa, but with a lot of respect and with a lot of dignity, and ensure love is driving the agenda for amplifying the voices. Because we see a lot of African stories are told in a way primarily to disempower, to present a very disempowered environment with hopelessness, with all these kind of things, weakening, it doesn't work well with us. We want to see that let African voice be represented with dignity, with respect. But of course, what we need is an innovation platform in Africa and around the world where we can tell our stories, give a dignified story organically coming from the community, supporting the voices of the community, relaying the truth and the true picture and true account, the positive picture of the community. That is one thing. Second is we have to support the process of telling the stories. We cannot establish a platform and don't support the meaningful engagement. If we cannot do that, it is very difficult. And then the third thing, we also need to facilitate the drive. If we support the process, we have to facilitate the drive. And then that would be a good opportunity. I remember every time you look around, sometimes the media misrepresent Africa so much that it only portrays the worst part of the continent. Well, it's true that we suffered, but there's still hope. There's still hope. There's still so much hope that we cannot let go. And I sometimes we identify with a vision that the world needs. The world right now is in the need of a vision for healing, the healing among the world community, the healing between Europe and Africa, the healing between Europe and Middle East, America and Middle East. All these kind of healings are needed because, you know, if we take kindness and embrace it and put it in a way that is if we choose kindness and love, then we have secured the license to live a dignified life. And we have to do our very best to help people live a life without fear or shame or terror. They have lived it, they have survived it, they have thrived. Today, they are there because they have moved on. We need to celebrate that resilience, we need to celebrate that strength, we need to celebrate that power. That is the most important that we need. So it's a collaboration that is needed, is an opportunity that is needed, it's strategic revisioning of the revision of working strategy between the partners. We are all partners, we are all stakeholders. And in the same way, we need to, where is the technical inputs? Who should take lead in concretizing this dream, this idea, so that it's something that we can own. And how can we all contribute to the strategic plan, as well as to develop the technical strategy? This is what is important, because we don't want to say that this savior mentality that Europe come and serve Africa, Africa come and serve Europe, that will not take us anywhere. We need to definitely realize that we cannot play the inferior, superior kind of world if we have to seek forward. If we seek a future of peace and stability, we need to treat everybody equal.
Right. Well, that's a powerful message. I
can't hear you.
You can
I
hear
can't
me?
hear you.
I don't know why.
Can you hear me?
Now?
Okay. For
can
some
you
reason,
hear me?
I can't hear you.
I don't know.
Let me check my. Can you hear me?
Yeah. And me? You and me? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was hearing you a little bad, but it's okay. So that's a powerful message, Victor. Well, I think the short of is like to be able to this humanity that you are talking about, and how the currently situation with the corona and all of that sum up that we are all the same, we are powerless, and life is limit, as you said. The last question is, you have spoken many times about this intellectual revolution with the aim of reaching a peaceful society. What are the steps to carry out this revolution? It's like a personal step, like, for example, to have this humility that you were talking about, or these steps are like, for example, for the media to talk about Africa with respect. How do you think we are able to do these all steps in the way to grow up?
Yeah, I think to begin with, the word revolution has been abused, has been presented it as a, in a way that justifies other people's oppressive approach or violence choices to make sure we bring about destruction and victories. There's a loser and a victor in the word revolution, which has lost meaning somehow. Whether it be in military revolution, in political revolution, in technological revolution, a lot of people will look at how can I build a much better, more destructive technology that can kill millions at a time. I would look for a revolution that is not about redirecting that the nuclear power is not about nuclear war. The nuclear power is about nuclear energy for development, as opposed to nuclear war for destruction. That is the kind of revolution we're looking at. Because as long as we are still capable of saying we're even much better at producing the worst, deadliest nuclear weapons, I think we're failing our race as a human race. We're failing because we're becoming very capable of destroying fellow human with pride, with joy. We take pride even in destroying them. We call them terrorists. And we even carry on our flags. Our nations carry their flags that we have killed the enemies. And you waved your flag that you have killed the enemies. Why? Really? No, we're just one. We're human blood. We're humanity. Yes, I know there are elements inside that makes life worse, but you can't take pride in destroying one another. That's the number one revolution. Revolution should not be about downfall. Revolution should be about uplift. If our revolution is about creating downfall of another leader in another country, that is not revolution. That is destruction. So revolution should be about lifting the society, lifting the community, transforming the nuclear weapons into nuclear energy for development. But if we are becoming so smart that we are even producing now drones, that we deploy drones to fight with human, it's about the most powerful, deploying every weapons they have, technology they have, the technology without the heart behind. It's like a gun. I've never shot a gun. I've never touched a gun. But I think behind every machine gun, there is a human heart. The human heart will tell and say, I'm firing weapons at a child who is innocent. I'm firing a weapon at a mother carrying children. But a drone will not care about that. A drone will just fire as long as there's a human movement. And this is where the revolution is taking us. I think revolution and industrialization should go hand in hand. Industrialization in a way that we don't let go of the human face of technology. We don't let go of the human face of development. We don't let go of the human face of power. If we are too powerful to care about fellow human, it's a failure on our side as human race. So that is not the revolution that we want. We want a revolution that will open the door. It's like signing a code that will open the door for peace and harmony. And this will be our greatest legacy of our time, if we can talk about this. We will wave our flags with pride, with joy. We celebrate who we are, and we celebrate having lifted each other as opposed to having destroyed one another. I think we should be ashamed to take pride in destroying one another, because our nation's strength are in our communities. It's not abroad. Our nation's strength is in our community. The question is, if the nation's strength, Africa's strength is in Africa, it's not abroad. I think we need to let go of this growing stigma of Africans are not good enough. Africans are not smart enough. African doesn't belong, they don't deserve to be in such and such positions. They should be restricted, their movement, because they're bringing problems to the world. That is not right. We have to let go of that stigma. We have to put an end to that stigma. And then we need to address the increased ridicules and mockery where the rich look at poor as burdens. If it were not because of anything, assuming Corona came from somebody eating, a poor person eating an animal somewhere, look at how much it has affected the richest world. It has not affected only the poor person, it has affected all of us. So the fate and the plight of the poor should concern the rich more, because as long as they're poor, they will eat what will be harmful to humanity. And that will be a public attack in the face of common power. we have common power as a world, we have all these kind of things. It might seem like false alarm to some other people, but people are raising noises, people are crying, people are pleading for help. And yet the storm of suffering continues to gain pace, just because the rich, the wealthy have refused to take part. They have refused to engage. So to me, my job, your job, our job should be about building a world that is just, that is fair, because I can't bear the unfairness I see in the society.
All right. Victor, thank you so much for your time. We hope that this revolution is truly possible among us. We appreciate a lot of your time, and it was a pleasure. Congratulations again for all your labor, and we hope to see you in Spain soon. Okay.
Yes, you should invite me to Spain soon.
Right. Thank you so much, Victor. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You too. Be well. Bye-bye.
Bye.